All right, thank you very much. Welcome everybody. Once again, this is United for Freedom. Just curious, how many people are here for the first time? Can we hear from you? All right. All right. And how many have come from out of town? Wow. All right. Well, I just want to take this just a quick moment just to say hello to your neighbors if you haven't done already, because this is a community. Just give them a hello, shake a hand. Excellent, excellent. So we have a really great lineup today of speakers before we go on our walk. As always, we're going to try to fit this into 1 hour before we go. My name's Ryan, I'm the MC. I just want to open up, with some good news. What's been happening? There's a lot going on. We're winning, guys. There's a lot of wins going on in the last week. Yeah, so let's just talk about a few of these things. A lot of you saw this week, Dina Hinshaw was forced to backtrack after caught lying about the cause of death of a 14-year-old boy who died from brain cancer. Condolences go out to this family. So she was caught. This is a very regular thing they've been doing all along. They tested this boy on his deathbed for COVID, and then they claim it was a COVID death to drive their narrative of this being a deadly, dangerous disease for children, which we know it is not. So Dina Hinshaw's busted. She's desperate to keep this lie going, and she's vulnerable, and she's exposed. Jason Kenney is devoting millions of dollars to try to entice people to come up and get this jab, because he is desperate to keep this lie going, and he's vulnerable, and he is exposed. CBC this week was busted running a story with video footage of a hospital with a mannequin in the bed. CBC is desperate to keep this lie going, and they are vulnerable and exposed. CBCNN! Alberta firefighters have launched a constitutional challenge against Alberta. They've launched this challenge against Alberta Health Services. Alberta Health Services is desperate to keep this lie going, and they are vulnerable and they are exposed. Canadian Natural Resources. This is the largest oil company in Alberta. Over 1,100 of their staff have lawyered up. Now it's 1,400. They've hired James Kitchen. He's one of our best freedom-fighting lawyers in this province. He has sent a 147-page letter to the CEO of CNRL, Mr. Tim McKay, demanding that he cease and desist with this mandatory vaccination for their staff. Do you think that company is going to be able to keep getting oil out of the ground without those 1,400 employees? No. This is the power we have. What else I missed? Outside of Alberta, Quebec, 25,000 nurses are refusing to take this jab. If that doesn't say enough, they were given a deadline of October 15th. Guess what? That deadline is come and gone. They got another month extension. This is how we win this. We call them out. We call them out on their bluff. In the United States, Southwest Airlines pilots and flight attendants took massive action. They caused massive disruptions this week to air travel. What's happened? Southwest Airlines is backtracking on their forced vaccination of their staff. This is how we win it. We call them out on their bluff. We organize, we come together, and we're no longer just holding the line, ladies and gentlemen. We're pushing that line back and back and back. Now is the time. This is a war. This is a war that they're waging against us. What is one of the most fundamental tenets of warfare throughout all of history? You strike when the enemy is weak. They are weak right now. They are vulnerable and they are exposed. Now is the time to push. We do not have time to wait. We do not have time to watch and wait. And this is for the people watching on camera right now, watching online. If you've been waiting for things to get worse, well, here's the spoiler alert. They will get worse, and they will continue to get worse until we push back. So now is the time to push. So today, we have a really excellent lineup. We have Chris Schaefer here, a PPE mask expert that's been on the front line of this since the very beginning last year. We have a SAIT student, we have a teacher, we have a firefighter, we have a City of Calgary worker.
We are together, we are one, we are occupying a space in real time. We don't know all the options that are ahead of us, but we will figure them out, we will work together, and we need to sustain these freedom rallies. We will win, we will figure this out. Those of us who are running, we are entering Babylon, not because that was our dream. We are entering that vast, corrupt city hall so that we can confront what it is doing from within. We need your help. If your employer is pressuring you, sending you emails, you give us that information. We are not just one vote on a table. We will make phone calls, and when we don't have answers, we will knock on doors, and we will confront the unlawful nature of this mandate, and we will win moving forward, and we will not wait until we are starving to death and can't get medical care. Thank you all. God bless you all for being here.
My name is Carla Evers, and I'm running for Ward 10. My parents grew up in occupied Netherlands. I heard the war stories. This is so similar, but it's so quiet, yet so sneaky. After the election, whoever is in there in the office, we gotta keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. You go grab a Druthers magazine, at least 2 or 3, and hand it to your neighbors. There's enough people that we can wake up at least 100,000. So vote for me, Carla Evers, Ward 10. We need to get this under control.
Hello everyone. We stand on God for thee. This, what I have here, is the Polish underground. It's called Polska Walcząca. My family was fighting the Nazis. My family was fighting the Bolsheviks. And I'm here to keep up with the tradition. We don't surrender. Never, never. No matter what the crooked judges are saying. Let's keep on marching. Don't lose focus. You know when it's over? When we say it's over. So Ward 11, Calgary, let's get inside that city hall and let's clean it up. God bless you all.
My name is Derek Reimer, running to be councillor in Ward 9. And you know what? I'm not a politician. None of us really are. We're regular people just like you. I'm a drywaller, I'm a minister. I'm actually late for my outreach down the road, but Ryan, you know, thank God that he gave me an opportunity just to speak real quick. I never would have done this if Art Pawlowski, somewhere here, he encouraged me about 14 months ago. I never even would have considered it. I prayed into it, and this phrase was on my heart loud that I've heard from him and from Rob or somebody else, that if not you, then who? And if not now, then when? And that really resonated with me. I'm like, you know what? Why am I praying for somebody else? Why don't I step in? Why don't I make a difference? And now I want to put that all back on everybody here. You know, who's impressed and who's, you know, thankful and encouraged by Art Stents? Who's encouraged by that? Yes. You see how that's contagious? You see how that spreads like wildfire? You know, myself and my friends here, we're running. and it's, you know, it's a little bit of an intimidating arena, but we're willing to step out and do what we believe is necessary and best for change. What about you? Who's next? Who's willing to rise up? Who's willing to step out and do what they believe that they're called to do, to follow their convictions, no matter what the risk, no matter what it takes? Because right now, we need people to rise up. And I see just hundreds of people here and online. I see so much potential. I see passion and I see conviction. And it's time that we just keep taking action. Amen? God bless. Love you guys. Thanks for the opportunity, Ryan.
This is why we want these guys up here. A lot of the reason we're in this mess is that I believe because of our complacency and disengagement from the political process. This is where democracy is meant to happen. People like us stepping up and taking charge. So we have another man here who's stepping up and taking charge. He's running for mayor, Mr. Zane Novak.
Thanks so much, Ryan. Well, we got a great crowd today. I think the weather's been on our side through all of this. Yes, I'm Zane Novak and I'm running to be mayor. I've spoken to you before, and my message is similar. The point that I really want to make, you know, I've traveled most of the world, been a lot of places, but I've always loved to come back to Canada for two main reasons: privacy and freedom. And those are both on the sacrificial altar right now. And it will continue to be unless people like us continue to step up. Now, I've been fortunate to go out and talk to hundreds and hundreds, in fact thousands and thousands of Calgarians. And I've talked to people who are vaccinated, I've talked to people who are not vaccinated, and 95% of everyone does not agree with passport mandates. They do not agree with more restrictions. They do not agree with lockdowns. But that's not what the media tells you. The media tells you that 85% of Albertans want passports. They want lockdowns. And that's absolutely false narrative. We have to keep doing what we're doing because it falls upon us to be a democracy. We cannot give up hope, and we need to continue to talk to our neighbors. And I think one of the things I love the most about this rally is how peaceful it is. I mean, we don't need the police here because we're not going to do something that would harm our neighbor, because we're here because we love our neighbor, we love our city, and we have a passion for it to go in the right direction. And you know what else we have that they don't realize? We have hope. You know, I was at the Southside Victory Church this morning, and not for a sermon, but they organized an event there where people came, whether they were public city workers, union workers, private workers, employers, all threatened with this mandate of passports and how they're going to lose their jobs if they're not vaccinated or they don't have passports, how they're going to lose their businesses. And they were all strategizing how we can move forward. That's hope. And that's what we have. You know, people misjudge Calgary. Calgary has the highest proportion of post-secondary graduates of any urban center in North America. But they try to paint us as a bunch of rednecks out here tearing our city down, and that's so far from the truth. It's up to us to create the narrative. Media doesn't cover us. We have thousands of people here today. Media won't cover us. We won't make the news, but we are the news. And the way we can continue to make our name heard is by talking to our neighbors, showing that we're reasonable, showing that we're logical, and showing that what we are standing on, we're willing to die on the hill, a free, informed choice. Because if it's not about this vaccine, it's going to be about something else. And until we say the buck stops here, the line is drawn here, we will not take this anymore, well, we're going to just keep taking it. It's up to us to say no more. And this is where it starts. People like Ryan, Freedom Rally, you know, the weather's been nice, it's been cooperative, but we need to make sure that we're strategizing into the future when it gets cold, how we keep this moving forward, because we have to. We can't back away from it. Our election is tomorrow, and you know, the media would have you believe it's a two-horse race, that it's Jeremy Farkas or Jody Gondek, and that is not true at all. That is not true at all. I did a news presence release conference Thursday. Some of you may have seen it. It was on TV. It was on the news, on CBC, CTV. And everybody keeps saying, Zane, you know, you should step down because you're going to split the vote. You're going to take vote from the right, and then maybe the left will get in. We don't like the guy on the right, but he is the lesser of two evils. And I said, you know what? By your own voice, you've just said you're still voting for evil.
That's right. That's right.
And that's what has happened to our political, supposedly democratic system. We keep voting for the lesser of two evils, and we still end up with the same outcomes. And you know what else happens? Good people stop standing up. Yep. My fight in this, and 4 years of my life, 4 years of my business, 4 years of my career, is to get into City Hall, and I'm going to try to make change. And when I look at this crowd, I know I can. Because and when I talk to Calgarians, 95% want change. But we won't get change if we put the incumbents back in, because look where we are. We need change. Stop voting for the lesser of two evils. Vote for the good person, the right person, the person that stands up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. I see you guys got the memo about the breeding barriers. That's good. Because that's what they are. They're breeding barriers. One thing that I want for you guys to take away from today is to never call those closed covers that are mandated to wear over mouth and nose, to never again call them masks. Because they're not masks. That's just a form of misappropriation and word magic that they use to try and convince people that they're safe. They are actually breathing barriers that cause hypoxia and hypercapnia. So going forward, when you go into a store and they say, can you put on your mask? You say, I will not. I cannot wear a breathing barrier. And when you call it a breathing barrier in public, you will find that these breathing barriers slip down below noses everywhere, because anybody that's ever worn one knows that's exactly what they are. I have a letter that I wrote to medical directors across the country. It's my latest letter. Grab a copy from me after I'm done this short little talk, if you want one, for more information on the harm to children, especially. The other thing I want to say is this, is that when we comply just to get along, we are part of the problem. We extend the problem. Yeah. We have to not just be breathing barrierless here, but breathing barrierless everywhere. Yeah. And they try and use misappropriated words to tell people that a breathing barrier is safe by calling it a mask. You just can't put anything on your face and make it a mask.
No standard.
It's gotta be engineered for breathing. If it's not engineered for easy, safe inhalation and exhalation, it's not a mask. So examples of masks can include a Halloween mask, a respirator mask, a scuba mask, a hockey goalie mask. They're all masks. They're engineered for breathing. You just block your mouth and nose, it's a breathing barrier. So please, wherever you go from now on, it's just a breathing barrier. And when you start calling it by its true definition, you will see that this whole narrative will collapse so fast when people realize the truth. Now I got one last thing to leave you with, and that is these breathing barriers cause hypoxia. Hypoxia is insufficient oxygen in your body. Hypoxia causes thrombosis. Thrombosis is circulatory blood clots in your veins and arteries. What else causes thrombosis? Louder! Louder! Now you know how they're connected. Spread the word everywhere, and let's win.
Thank you so much. My name's Eric Penny, and I'm a born and raised Calgarian. I've lived here for 40 years of my life. I knew what the water tasted like before they put fluoride in it, after they put fluoride in it, and since they've taken fluoride out of it. And really, all fluoride really is a flavor. The University of Calgary did a research, study on this, and they said there was no real beneficial effects of fluoride to be putting it in the water, but they also said it wasn't harmful to people, and I disagree with that. Slowly poisoning somebody over time would put me in jail. Let's just put it that way. So we shouldn't be doing this. Some things that people like to say is that they're doing it for your children. My children, I have 4 of them. They've never had fluoride in their drinking water. One's got cavities, the other 3 don't. That has nothing to do with fluoride. Think about it this way. If we put the fluoride back into the water, basically you're going to shower in it. You're going to put this in your plants. You're going to feed your dog, your fish, your hot tub. None of these things need fluoride. Why are we putting it into your water system when 90% of it is going down the drain, or to things that don't actually require it? We hear in COVID, just like we hear in fluoride, you gotta trust the science. I gotta tell you something about science. I'm an electrician from SAIT too, by the way. And science is flawed. It's human. It's full of hypotheses and theories. And you have different control environments for your scientific experiments. And so science itself is not perfect, and it is not God. We got to stop treating it like that and stop believing just the science and trust yourselves. Everybody suffers from headaches. Some people have depression. Some people have all kinds of things going on with them. Why do we not throw Tylenol and Advil and aspirin and Percocet into the water system, hey? Why don't we just throw all that in there too if we're going to do this? It doesn't make sense. Everybody here hate cancer, right? Everybody? Yeah. Fluoride is a cancer-causing agent. 20 years ago, I used to work for the city of Calgary. My job for 2 weeks, because that's all I could handle, was to install the fluoride into the water system. The way that the facility was so damaged and in disarray. This is the whole reason why they took it out 10 years ago. If that's what it's doing to the building's infrastructure and the building itself, the concrete, think about what it's doing inside you. Does anybody here bath in their Listerine? I'm just saying, if fluoride's a good idea. And lastly, there's another woman out there that's been fighting to put fluoride back in the water. Her name is Juliet. She's an honorary doctor, not a real doctor. She started an organization for kids' help. And the only mandate she ever had was fluoride. So it's a front, okay? And so this woman has been spearheading getting the fluoride back into the water system. We gotta fight against this. In closing, what we can do to this, we can write letters, we can make signs, we can make noise, you can tell your friends. You gotta let everybody know fluoride is not something to be drank. It's another poison, and if we don't want it in us, we shouldn't have it in us. Our body, our choice, isn't a threat against each other. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much, Calgary.
Thank you.
My name is Tim Mullen. I am a firefighter paramedic. I'm here representing a group of frontline workers. This was started by firefighters, but it's now grown to include nurses, paramedics, frontline staff, all whose job is threatened. The name of our organization is Fight for the Front Line. As of midnight last night, if you did not disclose your vaccine status, your job, you're officially on an unpaid leave of absence, with the end being termination as of November 1st. So our guys are under immediate threat right now. They're on the verge of losing their job, and this is why you've seen us in the media. This is why we're putting pressure on AHS right now to do the right thing. And it's not just frontline staff. We're talking about people who are office workers, administration staff, materials management people, people that are vital for the safe and effective operation of frontline workers, of firefighters serving their communities. Their jobs are threatened. So that's where we're at. Last week, our lawyer, Derek Fromm, constitutional lawyer that we've retained, fantastic lawyer. I highly recommend Derek if you have any constitutional issues. It fired our first warning shot to Alberta Health Services. Back off or face the wrath of God, basically. And our firefighters aren't asking for much. Our frontline workers are willing to make concessions. Our guys are willing to get tested on a regular basis to come to work. I understand we don't want to do that, but we're willing. We're going to fight one battle at a time here, guys. These guys need to just keep their jobs right now. All right? Now, I'm involved in this battle. Let me see how friendly the crowd is to me, all right? I'm fully vaccinated. You still like me? Wow. I have a feeling our guys that aren't vaccinated wouldn't get that reception if the crowd was full of vaccinated people. So that speaks volumes about the character of people here today. And I thank you for your support, and I thank you for coming out. And I'm going to tell you why I'm involved in this fight in a second. But first I want to explain to you that this is not about health and safety or public health, okay? And here's how we know it's about compliance and not those things. Like I said, I'm double vaccinated. I was one of the first adopters. I got fully vaccinated back in February. I'm actually trying to get my third shot. I want to get a booster because my immunity has waned, okay? I have a feeling my vaccine is no longer that effective. I don't think I'm as safe to come to work as I used to be. And they're prohibiting me from getting my third shot. Meanwhile, we have guys like Dan, who's here with his family. We have guys like Chris, we have guys like Matt, who have recently recovered from COVID Delta, the worst COVID. Their immune systems have fought it off. They have provable immunity to this disease, and they are being mandated to get vaccinated or lose their jobs. So me, I need a vaccine, and I'm prohibited from getting it. They don't need a vaccine, and they're mandated to get it. And all they're saying is, look, give us some time. Let my immunity levels come down. You don't take a third shot like a month after you get your second shot. Why should you have to take it right after you recover from COVID? And so we're trying to buy these guys some time. The other reason we know that it's about control and not about health and safety is that if I show up to work tomorrow and I have the sniffles and a cold, I can't just tell my boss, it's okay, I'm vaccinated, it's nothing. What do they make me do before I can come back to work to be safe? I have to bring them a test to prove that I'm safe, okay? So they, by their own actions, are saying that testing makes the employees safer than simply being vaccinated. Our guys are willing to get tested. They're willing to be safer than I am. I can walk around the hall with a nose full of COVID, spraying it around, but I'm okay because I'm vaccinated. But Brian or Dan or any of these guys can't show up with a clean bill of health with proof that they are not contagious. They're denied work. So that's why we fight. So let me tell you why I'm in this, because my job isn't threatened. I'm in this because of guys like Brian. And Brian's over there filming me. I can't see him right now, but oh, there he is. Yeah, he's down there. He's hiding. Brian's a humble guy. All these guys are humble guys, okay? They don't want to be, what's this? Thank you. Thank you. All these guys are humble. They would rather run into burning buildings than speak in public, all right? But I fight for them because they would run into a burning building for me. Brian actually got injured on fighting fires back last October. He had a mysterious suite of symptoms called hypoxic rhabdomyolysis, which means basically he suffered severe hypoxia from all the exertion and smoke that he took in protecting his community. So he was looking forward to getting the vaccine, but then he pressed pause. He said, wait a second, I'm bedridden, I'm having all these neurological symptoms. Let me wait till I'm fully recovered. Now, he's still off on modified duties right now. He's still recovering from his injuries. And he's just saying, look, wait till later till it makes sense for my recovery. He's building training props for firefighters, helping them out. He's not even dealing with patients. And they're telling him he's losing his job as of November 1st because he is not vaccinated. I'm fighting for guys like Dan, Matt, and all these other guys who have provable immunity that I don't have, who are safer, who are willing to get tested and show up to work safe. I'm fighting for guys like Wes, who has myocarditis right now, and they're telling him he has to get vaccinated while having myocarditis to come to work. I'm fighting for guys like Russ, who has a rare genetic disorder, and all the people that are getting shots with this genetic disorder, half of them are going blind. He needs his eyesight to do this job, and he needs his eyesight to feed his family. I'm fighting for those guys. Meanwhile, these guys are being called selfish for their decision not to get vaccinated. They're getting called selfish by people who are sitting on their armchairs in the safety afforded to them by men and women who are ready to run into burning buildings and fight back the destructive forces of chaos that would consume the community. Meanwhile, these guys would run in there and risk their life to save that hater. These are the most selfless individuals you will ever meet. I'm talking about guys like Rob, who went to a call where two senior citizens, two old ladies, living on a fixed income, living in a dilapidated house, they came back on their days off and they fixed that roof with a group of firefighters, fundraised for it, and fixed it up. How is the community better off without these guys on the front lines? And guys, we have the people with the lowest character on the planet destroying the lives of the people with the highest character on the planet, my colleagues. All right, guys, we're gonna win this battle. All right, we're on the right side of the law and we're on the right side of history, but we need help. Okay, what I want you to do right now is go to our website. It's Fight for Frontline. Fight the number 4 Frontline. Sign up to be a supporter. We're going to send you calls of action because as soon as we take down this Leviathan, dominoes are going to start falling and it's going to be good for everyone. Guys like Brian and my other colleagues, they might not have jobs as of November. They're going to be fallen firefighters. They're sacrificing themselves and holding the line for the cause. It's because of people like them that throughout history that we don't have to have sex with our boss anymore to keep our job, that we don't have to put up with sexual harassment in the workplace anymore. And when we win this battle, we're not going to have to get injected when there's safer alternatives. So go to that website and check it out. These guys are maybe fallen firefighters, but history will remember their name. They will be spoke about as legends because they fought with your help against AHS and took down this Leviathan. And we need you to get off your ass and get active right now and make your mark in history. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is my first time public speaking, so admittedly I didn't memorize what I'm going to say. I want to say hi to every SAIT student out here. In solidarity, I'm with you. Everybody here anyways, but especially anyone in the education system right now who's being impacted by these mandates. I feel you wholeheartedly. My name is Michelle. I'm a student of the automotive school at SAIT in the apprentice program for mechanics. Up until 2 weeks ago, I was anticipating my last semester of school at SAIT for my Red Seal, an education I've been working on since 2016. That was until SAIT closed the doors on anyone who hasn't received the vaccine. I sent multiple inquiries asking for dates that I would be required on the campus so I could look into private testing, but SAIT didn't respond to a single inquiry I sent. This was weeks ago. They sent only automated responses from their supposed task force. I had the option of private clinic PCR testing, but at $150 every 72 hours when accessing campus, I simply could not afford this option, and I don't know a single student who could. SAIT and other institutions with these mandates seem to be trying to make it difficult for people to navigate alternative options, effectively pausing the livelihoods of students like me who are just exercising their rights to informed consent and bodily autonomy. As someone who had and recovered from COVID-19, I'm confident in my health, and as a tradesperson, acknowledge there's a much higher likelihood of getting hurt or dying in my line of work than by this virus. Governments and institutions are encroaching on our bodies and minds when it comes to this subject of COVID. It's been alarming to me how many people celebrate this, or worse, are apathetic. The general opinion from my peer group is that there's a fear of judgment over speaking out or a sense of futility. Most people I know got vaccinated to placate friends, family, or the second their access to dine-in brunches were threatened. Most people I know got vaccinated, it seems the easiest way to challenge a person's value structure is to threaten their hedonism. I do know a few who chose to be vaccinated for altruistic reasons or a sense of personal safety, and I respect that choice in all sincerity. I just want the same respect reciprocated. Instead, I've been told by others that I'm selfish and callous and I'm putting other people at risk. But I want to know what changed about the status of my health and safety as I worked unprotected up until now in a service deemed essential. And, with all due respect, folks, your cars are filthy. I never thought I'd be speaking out against SAIT. The education I've received at the school is my pride and joy. I speak only positive of my experience on campus, and it will be a shame to miss out this year. But I do hope to return when more students join the cause, as the mandates transform and make less sense as time goes on. I encourage students and citizens to write to SAIT and other publicly funded institutions, and refuse to opt in to the segregating tactics of the government and the media perpetuating the hysteria. We need to engage with people in person and allow for the discourse and debate that make the society functional. And I want to end by thanking every single one of you for being here today and allowing me to speak of my experience. It can seem futile at times, and it can be lonely. When I start to feel that hopelessness creep in, I envision the free and beautiful country I want to defend for my daughter's sake. And if this is the hill I'm dying on, I'm honored to be on it with the people who make me proud to be a Canadian. God keep our land glorious and free. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jesse Johnson. I'm the owner of Without Papers Pizza. I was not in compliance with the City of Calgary bylaw 6M2021. Because of my defiance, I lost a business that supported 2 families, employed 30 people, and defined my very life. I loved it. I loved it so much. I'm more eloquent on paper than I am in person. I apologize. Why are we all here? I opposed the bylaw that was discriminatory, promoted segregation, was against the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the Bill of Rights, and was also just against plain, decent, human, goddamn decency. It's not my job to judge a single one of you. The good Lord will judge you, not me. It's against my nature to refuse a single person into my restaurant based on their private opinions and what they do with their body. The support I received over the last few weeks truly touched my heart. I professed a message of love that was met with the most vile hate I have ever seen in my whole life. But the love outweighed it. This is not a message of us versus them. It is a message of choice. You have the choice to do whatever you want. If you feel bullied, if you feel scared, if you are afraid to talk, if you are afraid to express your opinion, you live under tyranny. Thank you very much.
We need more people like Jesse in Calgary. The number of business owners that have stood up in this city is a little bit embarrassing, to be honest. This week, Pastor Art Pawlowski, his brother Dawid, and Chris Scott of the Whistle Stop Cafe in Mirror, Alberta, were given a ruling by Judge Adam Germain effectively silencing them, taking away their right to free speech. Not only that, he has dictated that they must present a pre-approved government written script whenever they speak or post to the public. Now, the reason I call this a win is because, again, we have another one of these corrupted officials, Adam Germain. He is exposed now. He is vulnerable. There is a petition, firethejudge.com. Over 14,000 signatures in 3 days. This man must be removed immediately. We have Pastor Art here to speak to you very briefly. Please welcome.
Well, the sun is shining on all of us today. With the people like you, with alliance like you, we know we are already winning. This is what the totalitarian regime is afraid of. You, people are willing to stand up for the truth. And yes, it's true, this wannabe tyrant, this wannabe judge, this failure of a politician that was not elected as a liberal candidate, he has put a muzzle on us. So I have prepared a script specially for him. Well, the minute after he pronounced the sentence, me and my brother David, we went and we expressed our feelings. You can watch it on Facebook and YouTube and on Rebel. And it's very fascinating because I got some crazy people contacting me and they said, oh, we're going to monitor everything you say, wherever you go. Well, just go to my Facebook page. You don't have to stalk me like some kind of a pervert. You can just go to my YouTube channel, Artur Pawlowski TV, or Artur Pawlowski Facebook. I post everything I do and say in public. Every one of you go to firethejudge.com. Let's show them that we will never put up with a communistic, fascistic individual that claims to be a judge. Not in this country. Not anymore. So here is my reply to this crooked judge, to this failure of a politician, to this psychopath that is following the orders of wannabe tyrant Adolf Kenny. When you tear out a man's tongue, you're not proving him a liar. You're only telling the world that you fear what he might say. That's a quote from Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. Well, it's a fight for who is going to be sitting on the throne of your life. Kenny, wannabe Dr. Hinshaw, or wannabe Judge Germain, or this Chief Associate Rook Crook judge that have enslaved the entire province of Alberta. Remember the Rook order that me and my brother David and Chris Scott were arrested under? It was under the Rook's order. Well, the Rook crook is not going to dictate the free people in Canada, free people of Alberta, how we are to live our lives. This is the worst case in the history of Canada, the worst judgment ever being pronounced on an individual in the history of this country. Effectively, this is compelled speech like in China, like in North Korea, Saudi Arabia. Adam Germain, this crooked judge, thinks that he owns you, that he can tell you what you can say and what you're not allowed to say it. And listen to this funny story. He says to us that we are to follow the science. And he says the masks do work. Just like the Pampers work. And you know what happens when a kid does a biological warfare in your house? You're in danger and you know it very quickly. He says that the job are saving lives. And he tells us to follow the science. What a disgrace. This crooked judge wanted to hire me and my brother David and Chris Scott to be CBC reporters. Well, they have enough liars out there, and I'm not signing to be the next one. CNN and CBC has plenty of lying, manipulating, disgrace, a sham of a reporters already. He also says that I am not allowed to leave the province of Alberta. Well, watch me. I think they already do. You see, they're terrified of my time. They're afraid of a man that is willing to say the way it is, the truth, and nothing but the truth. In the Bible it says the truth shall set the captives free. The truth. Not their lies, not Henshaw, not Kenny, not the chief of police. They're not our gods. They're not our pharaohs. We're free Canadians. Free to worship our God as we please, not as Henshaw pleases. I cannot say something that I believe to be a lie, and I will not say that. So the minutes after the judgment, I went on record, and I was not as direct as my brother David. He said to the judge, shove it. I didn't. I'm a pastor, so I had to bite my tongue. I had it on my mind. Thank you, Jesus, for my brother David. He articulated what millions of Canadians are thinking. Shove it. So here is my message to those wannabe tyrants and their minions. Be very careful, because you have enraged lots of lions. And what I know about lions, they can put up with a lot. But you keep poking at us and we'll stop poking back. We are Albertans, and we are known for the biggest grizzlies in the country. A couple of weeks ago I was in the mountains. I'm telling you, I saw two. They're scary looking creatures. And if you poke at them too, be careful. Start running and grab Henshaw with you, because you might not be fast enough for the mama bears and the papa bears. They finally are saying enough is enough. Back off, or we will keep pushing. So we're going to have a good march today again. Here is my answer to those tyrants. I will never ever stop preaching the truth. You can put 10,000 disclaimers on my speech, and I always come back and open my mouth with the truth. Yeah! So you judge, you have a choice. Kenny, Minister of Justice without justice, Madu, you have a choice. Back off from the freaking Indians or start running. Be blessed.
Thank you, Pastor Arts. Just one quick announcement before the walk. After the walk, if you're looking for something to do and you want to fight more, there is a mobile vaccination clinic in Inglewood in front of Cafe Gravity. Cafe Gravity today. Many of us are going there after the walk. We are calling this the murder bus from now on. It's the murder bus. Woo! Are you guys ready to walk?